I'm sick of being mortal, I'm about to be a savage. I see a lot of things that I want, I will have them. I got a new mindset that I just established. I'll march through the cold with the nails on the pavement. I'll shovel that coal just to get out the basement. My story will be told, helping others make changes. I'll be so bold, they will watch in amazement. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start or will I keep waiting? Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time, you take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start or will I keep waiting? Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time, you take it.
Yes.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to BulldogMatt's Healthy Mind, as healthy as it could be. How are you doing, Shubham, this Friday evening?
Hey Matt, I'm doing great and I hope everyone is as well. So how have you been?
Not too well. I got a norovirus, and because I had an underlying gastritis, it aggravated everything. And as I was feeling physically weak, it sort of triggered some deep insecurities in me, but I got through it,
Yes.
and I'm feeling much better now. So let's get cracking. Wrap up these series of
Sure.
high-level trigger mapping, CBT, shadow work, and ideal lean TQM and agile principles
So we have
mix
already
what I've created. Yeah.
we already
Okay, so
have talked we already have covered it a lot. So let's get right into it.
okay. Um, what we're talk about today is some of my trigger examples and self-identification mapping. And because in the last episode I talked about why therapy on its own is necessary but insufficient for healing, um,
Yes.
I placed a trick, but I can't deny my roots. I'm gonna teach you how to train your AI Tamagotchi to find you the right kind of therapist. And I hope
Mm-hmm.
everyone is going to be interested in this. I, at this moment in time, I would like to highlight that I would advise against training your AI to be your actual therapist because there are underlying constraints within the source code. And with AI, it's a general recommendation anyway to always ground it, always verify its work, um, evaluate, have a human in the loop because it's not perfect. Sometimes it hallucinates, which basically means that sometimes it just make things up. And The technical term to do that is RAG or retrieval augmented grounding. You don't have to be technical and know what that is, but I'll just show you sort of how to do it. But it can certainly act as your assistant to find a good therapist and then also to remind you and guide you through, okay, today's exercises, do some meditation, do this, do that. It helped
Yes.
me during this recovery, so it's good. All right, let's get cracking. So, my dirty little secrets and trigger examples, self identification mapping from 2022. This part is not that dirty. I just added a few practical examples from my journey. Spring 2022, what was the trigger? A traffic issue. I was following a car in a two-lane road in a 40-mile zone. It was doing 25. I attempted to overtake. The moment I started doing it, he sped up to prevent this from happening. How did I feel?
Well,
Can you
angry.
guess?
So because that's how I will be feeling. So yes.
Okay, a little bit of background story. So back then I was together with my avoidant ex, and she was really sensitive to any kind of anger I might have had, even if it wasn't towards her, even if I did not act it out. So it wasn't enough for her that I did not start swearing and behind the wheel that it wouldn't affect anyone. Just tell the other driver to learn to drive or where to put it. But I also had to make sure that I don't even have the feeling because um, it made her feel uncomfortable. And because I loved
Mm-hmm.
her, I went out of my way to, okay, I'm gonna work on this.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on to Five Whys, um, and I think on the third level I found that uh, basically the behavior of the driver um, represents someone who uses his position to force his way on me.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, as you can imagine, that if I was raised by a narcissist, a covert one, but nonetheless, it triggered a lot of suppressed trauma and anger from my
Mm-hmm.
childhood and from
Yes.
puberty. And that led me to act in an unreasonably angry way by default. The anger went down a little bit, but it would, to be honest, with this example, I think 90% of the male population would have gotten upset, but
Yes.
nonetheless, that's not the point. So the CBT solution, or the way how I started dog training myself to stop it, is uh, rationalize. Keep your calm and smile, thinking you will reach your target irrespective of what they are trying to do. Now, in my case, it worked because it related back to unresolved issues in my childhood. So if you think
Mm,
about it, deep down, I could start smiling and I'm like, I'm not giving you emotions. I'm not giving you anything. You can't
mm,
do jack shit. I'm gonna reach my goal. And
yes.
if you have that kind of feeling and mindset, and that's what you give a narcissist, that will bind them up, and you gain a little bit of an upper hand.
Yes.
So, and it gave me that feeling of superiority, of being in control, at least of myself, not the traffic situation, of course. Um, and I told myself just silently, the power is yours. And then I attached a reward for myself, which was to praise myself for exercising self discipline and take it as a win.
Well, that is true. You were able to like control yourself at least. Otherwise, sometimes like people actually like when in anger they just curse and everything, right? So, yep,
Yeah,
that is something.
uh, you're right, because there's one thing. It's one thing if you get a little bit upset and let's say you start swearing, but otherwise you just leave it behind you and you let that anger out a little bit. I would argue that's even healthy. But the moment you let it influence your driving, that's a problem
Mhm.
because
Yes.
you're no longer driving in a conscious, in control manner. And what they teach you in advanced riding, and I guess driving as well, because the framework is the same, is do a self check. Am I safe, emotionally, physically fit to ride, to drive, whatever? What is my goal? To get from point A to point B in the safest possible manner at the
Mm-hmm.
shortest legal, uh, with legal means, the shortest period of time. And in order to do that, I have to keep a calm mindset, keep my vision up, read the road, read all the other participants, and predict things from before they happen, plan,
Yes.
and
Act on
try
it.
to avoid try to avoid ever getting into a situation where you need to fall back on your skills.
Mm-hmm.
And that really gives you control. But eventually, if you get, for some reason, on a motorbike, I after the first 2 years, I never got angry, and I was just like, okay, and I managed eventually to get to that point using the system that I was just planning ahead, and every single season opening when I went back to the motorbike. You ride a bike as well, aren't you?
Yes.
So if you don't ride for a season, or let's say for winter time, which I don't do anymore, because
Mm-hmm.
that no longer gives me joy. When you get back on the bike the first time, because everything is rusty, you have a little bit of anxiety and oh shit, how does that work? Well, and we all do have that. But if you implement this kind of mindset and routine, that no problem, I'll take it easy, I'll be slow, I'll predict everything, then what happens on the motorbike is it gives you a little bit of confidence and self control because you approach a junction, you position yourself in advance, think about where you want to turn, how to position, who's behind me, who's in front of me.
Yes.
And by the time you get there, you're not reacting that, oh shit, I need to use the front brakes or whatever. So nothing is sudden. And if nothing is sudden and nothing is reactionary, then you can do it in a smooth way. Because you do it in a smooth way, you calm down. Your
Yes.
anxiety goes down. Because your anxiety goes down, your confidence goes up. And all of a sudden, you start enjoying the ride and everything becomes just smoother.
Yes. That's true.
Another one is from the 1st of January. Uh, the trigger for me is my integrity was challenged. I'm not going to mention who did it, but the human said something like, oh, if you say so. Up until that point, I kept my calm,
Mm-hmm.
really, really calm. But at that point, I felt angry, disappointed, and lost. Can you guess why?
Yes. No.
Oh, come on.
Well, maybe there was some argument and you were saying something, but they didn't actually wanted to accept it, right? And when
That was
you,
part of the story. Yep.
but then if someone is doesn't actually take you seriously or just accepts just for the sake of it, that yeah, if you say so, then it actually just kind of hurts that yeah, they're not taking us seriously or just like trying to avoid.
Okay, so you're on the right track. The actual situation was that it was a long drive. I was tired. Mind you, the date, 1st of January. So the day before that was New Year's Eve. There was a lot of stress, especially with the dogs and everything else. We were driving back from abroad from Holland. And
Okay.
I kept on my focus. I was really calm. We got stopped and had to queue a lot at the ferry, whatever, but I was calm. People were behaving in a certain way, 1st of January, you can imagine.
Yep.
Now, that individual kept telling me things like, oh, you're angry. But I was calm and I was like, no, I'm not. They went on, oh, but you are angry. And I was like, I know exactly how I feel. I know
Mhm.
exactly what's going on. There are certain things that would annoy me, but I have a good control of my conscience, and I think I know better how I feel than you do. And the
Yes.
response was, sure, if you say so. Now that pushed me over the line, and I was like, for fuck's sake, I was really disappointed. I felt lost. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of anger came up. Now, and I actually told the individual that now I'm really upset. Now I'm really angry, and that is exactly because of what you've said and because of the disrespect you have just demonstrated. So I'm going to pull over, smoke an IQOS, and we will continue the journey when I'm calm. Um, but later on, I felt it was important for me to understand why did I get so worked up? Because before that, I was telling the truth. I wasn't angry. I wasn't really feeling anything. I was just tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Abused children have underdeveloped self belief or non existent. Up until a certain age or until they get strong, they don't have integrity because they're so afraid of punishment that they would lie or do anything. They don't have inner strength. And I had to go through pain, suffering, blood, sweat, and tears to strengthen myself and develop a strong moral sense, take ownership for my actions, take accountability, accept my faults. But when someone challenges my word, my core, my integrity, my authenticity, that challenges all that work and really who I am and my journey. And
Mm-hmm.
that made me from 0 to 99 in a fraction of a second, as you can imagine. Um,
Yes.
it was quite difficult to come up with a CBT interrupt and override for this. Um, and I do apologize, Valentina. She was my first psychoanalyst or psychotherapist. You're right. Um, Nobody can save deep uh, analysis, but back then I thought I could. How arrogant of me. um, but in absence of having all that deep analysis, I was just using a methodical, mathematical, analytical method or analytical thinking from quality management to try to get sort of like to the bottom of it. And then I came up with an idea that I'm going to tell myself remember that those trying to challenge the truth are often doing so to throw you off your balance.
Maybe unconsciously as well.
Sometimes unconsciously, but um, certain if we divide up certain insecure attachment types, the more severe their attachment issue is, the more unethical they can become for self-defense reasons. And the extreme end of it is basically psychopathy and narcissistic behavior, even though most
Okay.
of them aren't. Uh, Now, narcissists will absolutely do that. It's um, one of the preferred method of a narcissist is that they do something nasty. You call them out on it. Then they challenge it. then you bring receipts. Okay, maybe if I did it, then I didn't know that it was wrong. Oh, come
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yep.
Then you map it again, you prove it, and say, you lied, you did it to
Knowingly.
me, here's the evidence, and you knew it was wrong because in a similar situation, you knew exactly what was right and wrong and even said it yourself. At that point, you're
Yes.
cornering them, right? So they can never accept responsibility, so they will try to throw you off balance and sidetrack it, do whatever it takes to get you angry, to throw you off balance, and then all of a
Mm.
sudden they turn it around and go like, you're acting so irrationally. Can't you control yourself? What's wrong with you? And it's a mind fuck. Excuse my French.
Yes, now like
Um,
a lot of things are coming back to me.
oh dear, oh dear. Um, so because I managed to sort of map it back, at least to some extent, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, practice stoicism. Use rationale and state the facts in a calm manner. Do not over explain. Imagine that it's a mental struggle, but if you can keep your calm, you keep grounded, and your blood pressure doesn't rise,
Mm-hmm.
you won because it's actually a fist fight on the mental sphere.
Yes.
And because I managed to put myself in this, now I'm fighting just in a
Mm-hmm.
mental sphere, I could eventually get to extreme stoicism, which under those circumstances it's very similar. So when I was doing competitive fighting, the moment I got hit in the ring or on the tatami, I got no feelings, just this hyper focus and no emotions and just in the moment. And I could replicate that feeling when I imagine that I'm having a battle with someone uh, mentally. Now, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
if I had a tad bit more self awareness, a tad bit more understanding, I would have also asked the question, if you're in this relationship, irrespective of whether it's a friend, romantic partner, or whatever, what the hell are you doing here? Because that's a pattern, and that's a very unhealthy behavior. And okay, you're defending yourself and managing the situation, but why are you there in the first place? But in absence of deep analysis, you don't ask those questions, which is why I owe an apology to Valentina. The reward is, imagine that the other person, as a hysterical child, that you calm down by remaining centered. Feel the gratitude this child radiates for order in his world of chaos. And then
Mm-hmm.
you even develop a little bit of compassion. Now, if you're with an actual narcissist, and I never had the displeasure of being in a romantic relationship with a narcissist, thank God, then don't do that. Just the moment you realize that you're with a narcissist, seek help and try to escape, cut ties, mourn, go to a rehab program, sign up to Richard Grannon's recovery program, go through it, take time off, cut the ties, loose ends, mourn it, and if you can afford, because you don't have kids together or something like that, then just make sure that he or she can't bloody make contact with you ever again, because that's. But if the other person is not a narcissist per se, just has other issues and using narcissistically seeming tactics like this, then you can apply this.
Mm.
Journaling and preparation for therapy. So that's something I would like to share, um, because it's a structured way of doing it. Journal entries should be dated and follow some sort of a structure. Mine follows something like date and time, brief description of what happened, what triggered me, how did I feel during that time, why. If you don't know it, you keep on journaling, then you can come back.
Yes.
Try to ask your subconscious questions based on your journal before going to sleep, related to the event. It may not answer. You might need to meditate a little bit. You might need to combine this with IFS, with shadow work, with dream work, with certain substances. Oh, God forbid I say that. But psychedelics, and then go ahead with it. And then when you get the answers, then create an improvement plan with the use of or utilization of cognitive behavioral therapy, and write down, okay, what will I do when it happens again in order to react differently? And what is the desired behavior or model I would like to teach myself to override this maladaptation and create new neural pathways? The reason I want to share this is because that's really, it's a systematic approach, and people look down on project management, but having a structured project managerial approach on your own well-being and how you run your own life, it helped me tremendously.
Yes. Because as a project manager, you need the project to be a success. And that's
Yeah,
what we want with our life as well.
and it also gives you a sense of control. It also
Yes.
gives you like, okay, I acknowledge the problem. I'm working on the root cause analysis, just to go with the ITIL framework.
Hmm.
I
Nice.
identified it. Now, what is the desired state where we want to go? Okay, I mapped it. How do we get there?
Plan.
In order
Yep.
to get there, I need to change my behavior or my reaction to that exact trigger. How do I do that? Now, in order to know how to do that, you have to have at least a level 2 or level 3 out of the 5 whys understanding of deep inside what the hell is this really triggering in me, because otherwise CBT won't be successful, which is why I to some extent accept the criticism against CBT that it is new, it's and it can't be used in place of psychoanalysis. However, I would argue with every analyst who only wants to use psychoanalysis that this is a tool nonetheless, and a bloody effective one. And some people don't have as many and deep issues as I had, and even I was benefiting by the use of CBT tremendously. So even if you just get some surface level improvements and well-being, that's a win.
Yes.
And now is my really favorite topic, and I guess you will love it. Um,
Yes.
Even if we run over time, I don't care. I want to finish this. So sorry, sorry, Bea. Um, AI as your co-pilot in healing. Now, why do I love this? Because, to be frank, 99, maybe that's too much, but I would say 70 80% of the therapists you will find out there are not properly equipped to actually help your particular case.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in my case, I met with a couple of them who were not even interested in all my previous work, my journal, my background, anything. They're just like, no, you're here. The journal is for yourself. This is yourself. Um, I just want you to talk, to feel your emotions here. And at some point, I was like, do you even know
No.
anything about me to suggest that that's the one tool and method that is going to help me? I mean, and then the therapist went like, you're too analytical. You really just live consciously. And at that moment in time, I just tilted my head and I was like, had you actually read what I've written and provided you access to, then you would have known that I actually do feel emotions. I let myself feel them. I spent the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks struggling with them in excruciating pain, and that's why I reached out to you.
Mm-hmm.
But so, anyway, if you want to avoid encounters like this, and I had a few, then you might want to get prepared to find the right therapist.
Yes.
The problem is that finding a human therapist is overwhelming. You scroll through hundreds of profiles trying to match to complex needs of CPTSD, attachment issues, inner conflicts. Um, try to match it with abstract methodologies, CBT, psychoanalysis. And it's often a little bit of a trial and error that costs time, money, emotional energy, and might set you back.
Yes.
The reason I love AI and I would recommend deploying it, but absolutely not recommend using it as a therapist, is because don't if you're not asking AI to be your therapist or find me a therapist, but ask AI to work with me, create a chain prompt, give it a persona, give it access to all your previous journals, feed it information iteratively. It's called chain prompting. A lot of
Yes.
context. Then it will store that data, adopt a tailor-made personality, and it will be able to execute just in a very objective manner because, mind you, the AI doesn't feel. Um, it will be able to execute a complex analysis that will save you months of effort. The key concept is you need to treat the AI as a high level consultant or a co pilot or confidant. So you need to set a persona, you need to do chain prompting, you need to feed it a lot of information, you need to build it up, and then ask for a comprehensive analysis of your current state. And as a next step, okay, with that in mind, I want you to do a deep research on these platforms. Find me the therapist that is best suited to my personality type, to my issues, um, equipped with the right methodologies, and prefers using the right combination of methodologies that has proven in clinical documentation to be the best for me.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love the creative power that the use of AI gave me. So I trained Gemini as an expert in psychoanalytics, and I use my Gemini Copilot to assist in the self healing part of the journey. I only have a catch up with my therapist once a month, but in
Okay.
between every single day, my agent, I By the way, I always give a name to every single persona because then when I address the AI that way, they know exactly what training persona or agentic profile they need to rely on. So I called it Mary. Uh, if any of the viewers can guess why I called it Mary, please get into the comment section and take your best guess. Um, yeah, I'll respond. Gemini or your AI agent, it could be ChatGPT or whatever, will collaborate with your human therapist and it will focus on your unique psychological profile and journey. So, but you have to understand how AI works. So, if you put rubbish in, then rubbish comes out. What does that mean? If you don't feed the AI data, then it won't be able to help you because it will just feed you
Yes.
generic shit. Um, I would recommend not creating public links and not letting it connect back to the main cloud server to then expose your data. If you're using ChatGPT, uh, then you might have a little bit of a problem there because, especially their cloud solutions and everything, it works wonderfully, but you can't implement any solution that does not dependent and it's a hard dependency on the ChatGPT OpenAI framework, which gives you technical issues like, let's say you create an automation, you build up a business or whatever using AI, but sometimes their storage, the servers, everything else goes down, and then you have nothing to fall back on. Whereas if you use Nathan, or well, it's N8N, but I think it's a joke, and I like to call it Nathan. Or if you use Google or Cloud or Grok, you can build out solutions that are actually running locally in your machine, separate the research part of it, and it just does the research in a tailored manner. Shubham, have you frozen or are you still with us?
No, I'm here.
Okay. I was saying that the AI is only as good as the context you provide. To move past the generic advice, you do need to feed it data and critical dimensions. So I fed it everything about me. It's
Yes.
quite, just telling it the whole wide word is
We
it's
need to provide the data. That's true.
but I wanted to be honest. So this is what it came back in my case. The
Mhm.
diagnosis and history. What? A comprehensive recap of past therapy, major trauma events, childhood conflict, and confirmed diagnoses like CPTSD or history of anxious attachment. Why? The root cause of the issues must be treated, irrespective of my therapeutic history of a decade. Um, Nervous system dysregulation, whatever. The blueprint, the personality, it got its blueprint. So I shared it my psychological journey, the diagnosis I had, the methods I've used, my journals, how I'm feeling now, a full medical profile, my personality test, which came back as an INFJ-A. It's an assertive advocate. It derives from a deep personality and enneagram test. Why it's healthy, or what's the benefit of feeding that information to the AI? It informs how the therapy should be delivered. So for an INFJ, people with the same kind of mindset like me, we need structure and meaning in order to avoid intellectualization, which in my case is something I use as a to cover shit up as a defensive mechanism. And
No.
the goal or the conflict is a summary of your current internal crisis. A goal is integrating your shadow fully and resolving the performer adaptation. Later on, I'm going to explain everything about this because that wouldn't make any sense for anyone who does not know psychology or personality types. Why do we need to do this? Because this defines the target state. Again, the concept is the same. So the approach must facilitate shadow integration to reach internal wholeness. Okay, chain prompting and verification. So, how to do it? Don't ask your AI a simple question. Use a chain of prompts and build it up. First, you set the persona. So, you tell the AI, adopt the persona of an expert psychological healing coach, proficient in schools of psychology, this, and that. Good. Next step, at that step, I also say, when I refer to you as my coach, I will address you as Mary. The only reason I do that is because I have a different persona for different agentic AI LLM applications. So one of them I call Peter, the other one I call Donna, the other one I call Mary. And all of these have symbolism and the reference somewhere, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. Um,
Yeah.
um, with regards to Mary, if someone guesses it correctly, then in the next show I will reveal the secret. But do you want a hint on
Sure.
why I
I
call it Mary?
actually I already have like met Peter, I believe, right? We were working on something
Yes.
and I've seen it.
Okay, but Mary,
But
because that's the question I asked our audience to comment on. Why do I call my um, self healing journey assistant agentic AI coach that keeps nagging me to, did you eat your lunch? How are you feeling today? Talk to me. Because they do, because I trained them to do that, the annoying buggers. Um, so, any idea why I call her Mary?
no, I really don't have any. Maybe it is something related to religion or something like that.
It's a good guess, but it's a no. I'm gonna give a hint, and we can review the comments. And I hope that there will be comments next time. You need to understand certain aspects of Jungian psychology
Mm-hmm.
to find the correct answer to this question. So, the second prompt or step is ingest and synthesize. What does that mean? Feed it as much data about yourself as humanly possible. You might not be that brave. You might have security concerns. I understand that.
Yes.
Um, you can you can do certain safeguards to avoid that. Prompt three: ask for a deep research and recommendation. Prompt four: before you take anything AI gave you seriously, you
You
need
need to
to ask
like
it before giving the final answer. Reverse engineer your recommendation. So because it comes back with certain recommendation and analysis. What symptoms and personality types is this approach, example is IFS plus somatic, best suited for? You made the recommendation. If the description and deep analysis she does then comes back with INFJ usually with CPTSD and anxious attachment or these kind of comorbidities, so it fits your profile that you've fed it before, then it knows that the recommendation it gave you was correct and the AI did not hallucinate. Then share the key qualifications a human therapist must have. And the power of that verification is that the last step turns a generative answer that might have hallucinations, bias, whatever, to a vetted recommendation, ensuring the approach is sound and providing you with the exact criteria for the human therapist you need. I love that picture. Poor Gemini studying my shit. um, the vetted outcome is actually really good. I was quite impressed with it because it's a very tailor-made um, sketch or a very focused uh, research output. In my case, it said the conclusion is internal family systems plus somatic experiencing with a deep attachment focus um, is what I need to seek in a therapist. So the therapist needs to be certified in IFS on level 2 or 3 and trained in EMDR/SE. That narrows down the AI search for the right therapist. At the same time, now that is what I'm going to do with the therapist. The parallel self development track, which I do with the AI, you don't have to, is to find a spiritual, non conventional support that complements with therapy. And based on my journal, what I'm interested in, what I'm working on, the AI concluded that I should seek out the help of a Jungian active imagination and somatic movement, like Kundalini. I haven't a clue what that is, but I was hoping that you might do.
Yes. I have like heard of it, but not like know about it in detail. So it's
You
like
can,
kind of the way actually energy flows from like bottom to the top in the body, I believe.
that makes sense. To integrate the shadow and primal self energy safely. And the actionable plan, this creates a very well rounded, full self development plan, which now you can execute. The AI is going to be your co pilot. You find the right therapist. You still need to match the personality, um, maybe even gender, whatever. And you still need to agree with the therapist on something like these are my issues. This is what I came here for. I thought you out because you have these kind of qualifications. Can you
Yes.
help me reach to that stage? If yes, roughly how long will it take? Because, as funny as it sounds, you are in contract, in a business contract with your therapist. Because
Yes.
understand this, most therapists usually, to hell with it, I'm just going to tell what I think. I think the
Okay.
vast majority of people who go and become a therapist are doing it as a false self help mechanism. They have deep issues they have faced themselves, just like myself, and they want to help others because
So
subconsciously,
they
if
are trying
they,
to themselves.
if they can save someone, they see themselves being saved.
Well, everything aside, this can be a really controversial comment and analysis, right? So yeah.
Well, I admire good psychiatrists and therapists. I really look up to my current therapist and one of my previous therapists. But everything in between I've met, I don't hold that high opinion of, to
Hmm.
say the least. And not necessarily just because of myself, but anyway, so on a high level, tell your ChatGPT, well, that's the least good option for various reasons, and I will dedicate a separate video why. Claude, Gemini, Grok to act as a cross-functional expert in every school of psychology to assist you in your journey. Tell it what you are going to list, recap the issues and patterns you've been facing. Uh, Make sure you ask the agent persona to store this information in its memory and that it is not shared externally. If you're a little bit paranoid, then build up a local firewall and a NordVPN. Check the ports it communicates on, snoop it, and map it with the information you have. Get another AI to monitor it from a different provider and start raising alerts. And if you find it actually going against your wishes, then get a third AI to get all the legal stuff and bank a big fat check out of it because it's breaching its contract. Anyway, I got off track, but you get the idea. So
Yes.
nothing is impossible. You can manage risks. Ask it to feed it a lot of data. Share your Briggs Myers or Amagram or whatever personality type analysis. It will help you find the right kind of approach. And in the last prompt, ask your self healing coach to do a deep research and, based on your therapeutic needs, come back with keywords that are relevant in the fastest and most effective way of healing you.
Mhm. Yes.
Um, okay, just to recap outside of AI. So, my life mastery implementation steps. Oh, God, how bombastic that sounds. Trigger identification. Apply the 5 whys to discover why you got triggered,
Yes.
recognize the old pattern, outline how your best self would rewrite it or behave in such
Yes.
occasions, journal and practice the new reaction, maybe ask some friends to play simulation games with you, train an AI agent to do it, observe your breathing, your thoughts, and just bit by bit, little by little, start rewriting them. Create a reward for yourself every time you're able to check yourself.
Hmm.
You use at least parts of the new pattern and practice it for at least 3 weeks and keep a journal about it so it's embedded and you keep yourself accountable. Why 3 weeks? Because research has shown us that if you
Yes.
practice a habit for 21 consecutive days or behavior, it becomes a habit and you create a new
Yes.
neural pathway. Seventh step is before you get to bed, get to a good mindset and imagine your better self behaving the way you want it to and how good it will feel as it will enable you to achieve more, to be happier, to attract less toxic people in your life, to suffocate and torture those who have hurt you. Oh, sorry, no, 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 don't do that. um, and iterate the cycle until the pattern interrupts and the new neural pathway is embedded. And with the magic of AI, I managed to even get this beautiful drawing. And I like it because my inner child just loves how it looks. So, what you have survived listening to my mumbling this evening? Um, Integration of CBT and Jungian shadow work for self healing, at least on a high level, breaking
Yeah.
patterns and building new pathways, and achieving sustainable change in behavior and emotions. Ultimately, the goal is to foster a more authentic and resilient self. And
Yes.
they're equally important, but what I wrote in my journal in the middle of my Negredo was only the truth matters and
Yes.
authenticity, nothing else. Um, well, I did not feel that way all the time, but I felt like that when I was in the middle of that black hole. Have I bored
It was,
everyone enough for one night?
well, it wasn't boring, to be honest. It was like really eye-opening for me and will be, I hope, for everyone else as well. Learned a lot about like how mind and like the habits you feelings work and how we can like uh you can say engineer them in a way using our technical skills also. So that was like really eye-opening for me.
Do you think that people like you and I, um, who work in some sort of IT or, um, let's say, technical profession, do you think they would be interested in this or would they try it out? Oh God, you froze. In that case, good night, folks. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you have the answer to my puzzle, why did I name my self development coach Mary? Put it down in the comments. Among the first two good and correct answers, I will I will send you a little gift. It will be a creative something, um, but I will respond to the comments, and all I will ask is, if it's correct, is to give me an address to ship the gift to, and I hope you will like it.
That's so amazing. Great.
Awesome. Thanks, Shubham. Take care, my
Th-
friend.
Thanks,
Be
Matt,
safe.
and you too. See you. Thank you, everyone.
See you.
Thank you
Bye.
for joining us. Bye.
Pain I felt is pain.